What is going on, everyone? Thanks for checking into our latest TDR Cannabis in 5 presented by Dutchie. Got a good one here today because this conversation is only getting louder. We're diving into a shift happening in Washington, D.C., one that's turning the alcohol and hemp industries against each other. So what is it? Well, beer, wine, and spirits distributors are now pleading with Congress not to ban hemp-derived THC products, arguing that consumers are drinking less alcohol and turning to these new hemp drinks instead. Thanks, Captain Obvious. But here's the twist. While distributors want hemp to stay legal, many alcohol producers, the very companies that make the booze, are actually quietly lobbying to ban it. So that tension says everything about where the market's heading right now, because we are moving in all kinds of different directions. So let's get into our latest TDR Cannabis in 5 presented by Dutchie. All right, let's begin with what is happening right now. A coalition representing alcohol distributors recently sent a letter to Congress urging lawmakers to reject any federal proposal that would ban hemp-derived THC products, especially beverages that mimic beer or seltzers. So this was first reported by Marijuana Moment, and the timing isn't random. This comes as Congress debates changes to the 2018 Farm Bill, which we know legalized hemp, but left massive loopholes around THC extraction. Now, with hemp-based intoxicating products flooding shelves from Delta-8 gummies to THC-infused drinks, some lawmakers obviously want to tighten up these rules. But the alcohol lobby's argument, it's clear. Don't ban what consumers already are choosing. Why? Because they're seeing real data that alcohol demand is trending down, especially among younger consumers. And many of those buyers are shifting to hemp-based products instead. So in other words, the alcohol industry, it doesn't want to fight the trend, they want in on it. But keep your eyes on Senator Mitch McConnell, especially with Boris Jordan, which we shared with us this week during the live stream. If you haven't done that, make sure to check out our Trade to Black from earlier this Thursday about what bill Mitch McConnell may want passed heading into retirement. This is telling. So when we look at all this data, let's now talk some numbers. Okay, get this. According to industry tracking groups, beer consumption in the U.S. has been declining for nearly a decade. Not in the last couple of years, a decade. And younger generations, particularly Gen Z, are drinking far less alcohol than previous ones. We know this. Meanwhile, sales of hemp-derived THC beverages have exploded, growing more than 200% year over year in some markets, according to BDSA and Headset Analytics. So yeah, they've got their attention. So these hemp drinks, they're legal in most states under the Farm Bill, and you can find them everywhere. And I mean everywhere. Gas stations, grocery stores, and even in bars. And what's the result here? Well, as we know, a massive gray market where intoxicating products are sold outside of the licensed cannabis system. What's that mean? Unregulated, untaxed, and often stronger than anything in a dispensary. So yeah, it's a gray market. And really, that's the problem lawmakers are trying to solve. But it's also why distributors are fighting back, because really they're not just defending hemp, they're also defending their own distribution channels in all this. So let's now look at that. Here's the insider angle most people actually don't see right now. Within the alcohol industry, there's now a major divide as to what's going on. Distributors want hemp, but producers, they want it gone. How does that make sense? So distributors right now, they see hemp as a lifeline, a new product category they can legally move without dealing with state cannabis restrictions. But meanwhile, producers, meaning the companies that make beer, wine, and spirits, they view hemp as a competitive threat. Well, sometimes if you can't beat them, you might as well join them. So think about the obvious. If hemp-derived THC drinks continue to rise, every can of seltzer infused with THC instead of alcohol, it could mean obviously one less sale for the brewery or the distillery. So yeah, again, another reason it's grabbing their attention. So while alcohol distributors are publicly urging Congress to embrace innovation, many of their own producers are lobbying behind the scenes for a federal ban. So this gets crazy. So that split is becoming one of the most interesting internal fights in American business right now, and it shows just how much the cannabis economy is really in a lot of ways reshaping the old industries. Time changes all things, doesn't it, everyone? So now let's move to Washington, because the debate, it centers on the next version of the Farm Bill. That is the most important thing, which governs everything from agricultural to hemp regulation. Lawmakers right now, they're under pressure to close the loopholes that allowed intoxicating hemp products like Delta-8 and Delta-10 to flood the market. market. Again, keep your eye on Senator Mitch McConnell and all this. But banning those products outright, it could kill, as we know, thousands of small hemp businesses and really alienate millions of consumers who've made these drinks part of their daily lifestyle. So that's really why distributors are asking Congress to draw a clear line between industrial hemp and hemp for human consumption versus, say, banning the category altogether. So what's their argument? Regulate it, label it, tax it, but don't erase it. I'm all for that. Get rid of the bad actors. But there's also another angle to all this. If hemp is banned outright, we all know where this is going to end up, back to the illicit market. So really, what happens next? The Farm Bill remains a negotiation really on both sides. The hemp lobby and the alcohol producers, they're pouring money and influence in DC right now to shape the outcome in all this. And before we wrap up here today, a quick word from our friends over at Dutchie. Listen, Cureleaf, they just reported some great numbers, and Boris said that, hey, tech is going to be a major focal point for us moving forward. So what tech platform do they use? Well, it's Dutchie. Why? Well, because it simplifies cannabis e-commerce. They're also about to launch a brand new product that's set to change how dispensaries manage online orders, inventory, and really customer engagement. So if you work in the industry, you own a dispensary, if you want to learn more, visit business.dutchie.com right now. All right, so as we bring this home, what does this all mean for cannabis and really hemp moving forward? Because that's the big question. In short, it's proof that the shift is definitely real. Consumers are voting with their wallets, moving away from alcohol towards cannabis-based products. That is inevitable. There's a lot of traditional industries, including alcohol, that need to adapt here in 2025 and moving forward, especially with industries like beer and spirits. Let's face it, again, they're being forced to adapt. So this divide right now, distributors fighting to protect hemp, producers pushing to ban it, it mirrors what we've seen for years in the broader cannabis space. Hey, welcome to the show. Incumbents are trying to control the pace of disruption. We know about this, we're real seasoned. If hemp stays legal under revised Farm Bill, expect to see even more crossover brands entering the market. Maybe even joint ventures between alcohol companies and hemp drink producers. That to me is only a matter of time. But if Congress sides with the producers and bans intoxicating hemp products entirely, we could see a short-term crackdown followed by a much bigger push for federal cannabis reform. Because, and this is important, once the federal government starts drawing lines between hemp THC and cannabis THC, that conversation inevitably leads to rescheduling and regulation under the same framework. Yes, this is confusing. Yes, this is frustrating. But the most important thing is, and this is a positive, at least this conversation is getting louder. And when it's louder, that means change is on the horizon. So to recap, distributors want hemp to stay legal because it keeps them relevant. Producers want it banned because it eats into their profits. And Congress is caught in the middle of all this, trying to figure out how to regulate an entirely new category that blurs the line between cannabis and alcohol. Hey, Washington, now is the time to speak, because really this is more than just a business fight. It's a cultural pivot. So really the next few months, it's going to redefine not just how we consume, but really what we consume. This is our latest TDR Cannabis in 5 presented by Dutchie. I'm your host, Shad Dales. Make sure to like, subscribe, smash on that bell for all notifications, and give us your feedback by leaving your comments below. We always appreciate it here at TDR. That's it for now. I'll see you in the next video, everyone. I'm your host, Shad Dales, and thanks again for watching.